Hello there, fellow crafters. It's Terry from Veegstez Creates, here with another Tonic Craft Kit unboxing and project inspiration video for you. So, hello, we hope you enjoy your craft kit. Well, I'm sure we will, Tonic. So first of all, we've got a lovely pack of their card blanks in ivory white, 7x7, really useful size because you can cut this down. If you only wanted to make a 6x6 card or a 5x7 card, you can easily just cut that down. And I'm not just saying this because I do work with Tonic. These, in my opinion, are excellent card and envelope blank packs, and I buy these anyway. So you know, it's really good quality card blanks. So if you are looking for, you know, like, oh, where do I get decent quality card blanks and envelopes from, I really recommend these, and they're usually on offer or in a bundle or something anyway. So we've got that. We've got a binder this month. Obviously it's our turn. Every 3 months we get a binder, so we've got a new binder, but we'll have a look at the actual stamps and dies in a minute. But I just wanted to say that this kit is called Festive Craft Town. Now obviously this video this kit is being launched the 20th of June, so we'll get it, or everyone will get it the first week of July, which really fits in well with the whole Christmas in July thing that seems to have been happening for the last several years in the craft community. Like, often companies will bring out Christmas products in July time to help us crafters get a move on, really. You know, if there's lots of cards that we want to make, like for people at work, or if we make them for charities or whatever, then, you know, it's nice to get them. But we'll have a look at that in a moment, because I always like to start with the papers, because that gives us an idea of our colour palette that we'll be working with, and then we'll look at the Nuvo, and then we'll look at the stamps and dies. So we've got a lovely, I think that's Arctic blue, I think that might be coral pink, that's I think it's misty grey, and then we've got, and that's ivory, and then we've got I think this is pink blush or something like that. It's a pearlescent, beautiful pearlescent pink, soft pink card. I love that. And then that's gorgeous. I think that might be called like a denim. It's a pearlescent navy card, but it's got like hints of silver in there as well. And then I really like this one. I think this is called Snowstorm. I haven't got the little guide that comes with it that tells you all the names, but I think that's called Snowstorm. It's the handmade cotton paper, and that's just perfect, isn't it? You know, for a Christmassy type thing. So we've got lovely cool colours, but then some warm colours as well. We've got a nice beautiful, now I don't know the name of this one, but a gorgeous bright blue with lots of, it's like there's like different types of blues in there. There's like some aqua and silver and stuff, and it may be a bit of purple. It's gorgeous. This one's the Sugar Crystal, so it's white, but it's got a touch of pink in. It always reminds, well, I think it's got a touch of pink in, whether it actually has, but to my eyes it has. Perfect for like snowy scenes. And then we've got a high gloss silver mirror card. So lots of nice cool blue and silver, white, and then a few pops of colour with the pink. So that's a lovely, lovely colour palette to be working with on our Christmas projects. So what have we got in terms of Nuvo? I'm going to tease you this time. So we've got a Nuvo Clear Mark embossing pen. So this is excellent in case you don't know what this is. So basically you can use this instead of using like a Clear Mark ink pad to just apply like a little bit of embossing ink and then sprinkle over your embossing powder. So this would be good like if we're doing snowy rooftops and things like that. We've got a full-size Nuvo glitter accents in Atlantic Drift. Yeah, just ties in beautifully with the colour palette that we've got. We've also got, oh, this is one of my favourites. So we've got an Opal Quartz Shimmer pen. And the way this differs from the normal Shimmer pen, if you haven't tried this one, is it's got like a bit of iridescence. It's got like a bit of a slight holographic iridescence to it. I love this. I mean, I love the regular Aqua Shimmer pen, but I do love that Opal Quartz. We've got a full-size crystal drops. It's a metallic one in navy blue. So again, following along with the colour theme that we've got. We've got some Craft Perfect in the 6mm, so like a sort of medium thickness. So that's going to be really handy. And then last but not least, we've got a little embossing powder. So this is going to work. These two are going to work perfectly together. Now, I don't know what the name of this is because they've scribbled it out, obviously, because I've got it early. You know, that's why I don't know the actual name of it, but it's a white with glitter in it, so that'll be perfect for snowy rooftops. So excellent on the Nuvo. Well done, Tonic. I am already getting rather excited about this kit. So let's have a look at our Festive Craft Town kit now. I'll take it out of the binder, actually, it's easier to look at. Festive Craft Town. So you can see from here we've got little houses and things. So we've got a cute little stamp set with some nice Christmassy sentiments on. We've got Santa or Father Christmas, depending on, or St. Nicholas, depending on where you are in the world, and the reindeer. Some bunting, or yeah, bunting, holly, stars, different type of star, snowflakes. Very pretty. And then we've got all of the dies that we could possibly want to make a little town. This is absolutely adorable. So we've got like little dies to make little houses. Oh, this is so cute. Look at the little lantern. That's a fence. It's a different type of house. We've got some trees. We've got a cat. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this. I love cats. I really love cats. A little tiny stocking and a hat. We could put the hat on the cat. Oh my gosh, that would be so cute. We've got like outlines of houses. So I think some of these might be to cut out or to add backings onto these, for example. This looks like a snowdrift, so that might like go on the top of a house or something. We've got like doors and windows. We've got a little, that's to cut out a little, to cut out that. So again, it's like we've got some dies and then like backing dies for them. We've got a little present here, and then a backing die. So I think that's a verso die, so that just cuts directly into the card. So you would cut that out first and then cut that into that, or just, if it sometimes works, that you can tape them both together with low-tack tape, and it runs through as one. My mind is in overdrive at the moment with the amount of possibilities. So I'm going to go away and do some thinking and plan out the first card, or maybe both of the cards, and then I'll come back and we'll make the first card together. So I'll see you back in a mo. Okay, so for my first card, I'm going to make a trifold card. I think this kit with the dies perfectly lends itself well to a trifold card. So with a trifold, you can have a certain amount of detail on the front, and then when you open it up, you get more detail on the inside. So it's effectively like you get two card fronts. So because all of the buildings have these outer cutout dies, the actual little buildings themselves also have cutting edges. Most of them, like that one doesn't, on the bottom of the door there. But what I'm going to do is use these outer edges to cut holes in the front of the card, and then on the inside of the card, in the corresponding place, I'm going to have the buildings all decorated. So nice infilled doors and windows, etc. But I want to keep the front quite plain, but obviously you'll be able to see these through the front. And then I've picked these 3 sheets of cardstock because I thought that this really reminds me of, well, sort of thinking about this scene. Obviously it's winter time. I'm thinking maybe early morning, it might be Christmas morning or something like that. So I'm going to use this for the sky, and then I also want to use the clear mark pen and just to sort of pick out bits and pieces. So this is like snowfall, if you imagine like snowfall on a pale blue sky. So I'm going to use the embossing pen with the beautiful embossing powder just in various places so it looks like there's soft snow falling. And then I'm going to use the pink coloured cardstock underneath that. So if you imagine it's sort of going to go probably in this sort of dimension across the card. So the dark pearlescent navy card is going to be at the bottom. And then I'm going to do like a sort of sunrise kind of thing. Obviously there's no yellow card in the kit, but you know what it's like in the sort of early morning when you get like the pinkish tinge to the sky. So I'm going to sort of draw this sort of pattern and then have this follow along with it. So this is above the sunrise. So I'm going to cut that all down on the front and then glue that down, and then once that's dry I can then run through the card blank, just this front side, and use these dies to cut out the houses and the church. Looks like a bell tower to me. And just a little tip for those of you that haven't made trifold cards before, it's really helpful to help it have a nice even finish so you can't see any of this or the other card peeking through, is to cut a tiny sliver off this side and also a tiny sliver off each ends of the second card panel. And as you can see, that just makes it fit nice together. And then for the inside, I'm planning on making it much more sort of involved. So I'm going to, obviously we'll have the openings here which show us the inside, so you'll see the houses. So I'm going to cut out the houses in the colours of the cardstock. I'm only going to be using the colours that are within the kit. I like to do that for my videos because I like to show you the maximum from what you can get from the kits, but obviously you're free to do, like if you wanted to use brown card or something, but I'm gonna stick to the colours in the kit. But I'm going to add extra things on the inside. So we're going to have a street lamp. I'm going to put in a Christmas tree if I can fit it in. If not, that'll carry over onto the other project. I also want to have Santa flying across the night sky. So that's what I'm going to do first. So I'm going to cut these cardstock and paper pieces to the correct orientations. I'm going to leave a little border around the edge, because I think it's always nice to have a border around a card. Then once that's dry, I shall use these outer edge cutting dies to cut those through, and then whilst I'm waiting for the glue to dry, I can start working on the houses. So I shall do some of that off camera, like, because you don't need to see me sticking cardstock onto cardstock, you know how to do that. But then I will come back and show you the more intricate things and anything that I think that you will find of interest as we go along with this card. So I'll see you back in a mo with some more. Okay, so I'm just going to include a very brief bit of footage to show you how I am going to arrange the front with the cardstock. So basically I am laying the pieces on top of each other and then just using a pencil. I tend to eyeball rather than doing precise measurements. That's just me. So that's the kind of border that I want for that bit. And then I'm going to need a strip of pink card. Now I'm actually going to draw like something like this into it, so I'm going to have to cut a strip that is bigger than I need. So if I go something like this, I'm going to check with my, yeah, so it's going to be like a sort of sunrisey bit like that. So it's going to be not a circle like the sun, but do you know what I mean, like a bit more raised in the middle. So I need to make sure that this is continuous all the way along. So first of all, I'm liking this level, so I'm going to draw a line here. Excuse my phone beeping. A line here on the pearlescent card, and then I'm going to use a ruler to, I'll move this up a bit to make sure that you can see it all, hopefully. So I'll use a ruler. Sort of go across like that, and then a ruler to go down that bit there that I've eyeballed. Actually, oh, if I were filming on a glass mat this would be easier, but I like to film on this faux wooden background these days, so we're just gonna have to hope for the best, guys, that this is even. So there we go. So that's how I'm going to do it basically. So I'm just going to use my paper trimmer and trim these pieces down like that. And in fact I will make a little mark a bit further down here because I don't need to cut more than that off for there. So I'll see you back in a moment with some more progress. Okay, so I'm now going to get to work with the clear mark pen. So I'm going to do this in stages, and I'm just going to pick out just like a few little bits of snow, effectively, to make a snowy scene for the sky. I figure if I do it in stages, then that'll be hopefully more effective. And it's good with this, it's quite helpful actually, because you can see the colour of the ink. It's got a slight colour to it, so that's really helpful. And then I've got a piece of paper here, which will be good to collect the embossing powder. It's going to have a little bit of plastic on it to keep it shut, of course. So I'll just remove that. Get off my finger. Okay. Oh, it's so sparkly and pretty. Now obviously usually using an embossing ink and powder, I would use an anti-static powder bag, but I'm not going to bother with this because it doesn't actually matter whether tiny flecks of the powder stick to other parts because it's going to be snow. Okay, so that's quite subtle, but it does definitely add to the effect. I'm just checking that it's set properly. I think so. Oh, that looks so pretty. Hopefully you can see that. You can see how that side has got, you know, the shimmer in between the regular circles. So I'm going to continue on and do the rest of the panel now and then stick that down. So I'll see you back in a moment. Okay, so I've been hard at work, as well as adding the heat embossing to some of the little snowflakes. I've also used the Opal Quartz Aqua Shimmer pen on some of the others. That's a bit more subtle, but when you look at it in real life, you can totally see like the lighter ones, and like it's got a pinkish glow. This I just cut, just sort of drew a pencil line freehand and then just sort of lined it all up. So the next bit of the process is to cut the shapes for these three: the chapel, the church tower, and the house, one of the houses. So this should be dry enough now. And just a little tip, what I'm going to do is when I run this through my die cutting machine, I'm going to put a piece of just scrap paper over the top of this, because not much comes off, but there is a bit of glitter there. So to save getting glitter on my top cutting plate, that's what I'm going to do. So that is that. And then I have used this little die with 2 trees and a little snowdrift. I've cut out 2 trees from the sugar crystal, 1 from the navy, and then some little snowdrift to go on there. I cut out the this is for these are for the inside, the little lantern, street lantern, in the navy, and I'm using the high gloss I'm using the high gloss silver mirror card. I don't know what's wrong with my words today, but I use that like for the inside. You know, obviously if you're using different colors, you might want to use gold or yellow or something. And then just to give you a bit of an idea about how things work, so like this die cuts out this, and it's very difficult for you to see, but it does sort of emboss a little pattern into here, but you can't see it that well because I've used it on the regular Craft Perfect. But if you were to cut this out of a pearlescent or a mirror card, you would see that better. And then what I've done is I've just stuck some scraps of the ivory behind, and again used the Opal Quartz, so it's like the shining it's like the windows are shining. And then I cut I use this die to cut the back panel, so that will go onto there. And then there's various like these little dies, so it's quite obvious when you look at them. You'll get to sort of see, like this one for example, these are the correct size for these windows. I've chosen to use the same colour, the ivory on top, and then but I've coloured the underneath panel with the Opal Quartz. so that will go on there. I just need to cut a little door, which is probably amongst, oh there it is, I can see the door now. So if you love like fiddly little things and creating scenes, you'll love this. It's so super cute. Similarly with this one, so the this die, it cuts out all of the pieces separately and it leaves a space for the door. So I have got to choose a colour for the door, but I cut out this. I used this die, no I didn't, that's for that one. I used this die, the one with the chimney, on the lovely pink pearlescent cards. I thought that looked really cute. And then from the other die sets we have, I think this one. Yeah, so this one will be the door for there. So I need to pick a colour for the door. I think I'll pick blue because that'll go with the background. And then this one, I'm thinking I'll just stick a bit of cardstock behind there. I don't want I've used the high gloss silver mirror card on here. This isn't stuck down yet, so I'll pick a colour, maybe grey might look nice actually for the door on that one. But it's really, as you start going along, it's self-explanatory, and you see all these little dies and you're like, oh, what are they for? But it does become self-explanatory, like, you know, for this this tower, the bell tower, which I'm assuming it is, or a little chapel, like you can see. So it cuts out the inner portion as well, so if you wanted to make the inner portion a different colour, but I just like colouring it in with the opal quartz, sort of imagining it being like a clear window and then the opal quartz shining. So my next steps are to use the outline dies, run this. I only need to run the front through the die cutting machine, and then start working on my inner panel. So I shall do some die cutting, do some more arranging and assembling of these, and then come back and show you the completed card. Okay, my crafty friends, so here is the first completed card. I'm really pleased with the way it's turned out. So you've got this lovely front with all the added sparkle, using the embossing powder and also the Opal Quartz Shimmer pen. I also used my crocodile, but you could use a hole punch to cut little circles of the gorgeous glitter paper there, and added those on the front, just a few here and there. A little tip for you, I noticed that when I cut the apertures here in the front of the card, because these two were so close together, it felt a bit flimsy. Not so much here because there's a big gap. So what I did was I just got another card, a 7x7 card blank, cut half of it off, and then I lay it behind and I drew around the inside of the apertures, and then placed the dies there and then cut through that. It was slightly wonky, very slightly off, so I just had to cut a little bit off there and a little bit off there, but like you can't tell, it still looks really neat and it's much more sturdy now. So that's a little tip for you if you do make apertures that are close to each other, and that's a way to strengthen it. So then you open up the scene, and then we've got some more details here. We've got the little kitty that I cut in grey, and I added some of the, I think it might be called something like sparkling snow or something like that, the embossing powder. It's gorgeous. It's like clear but just with glitter. I also, so I used the embossing pen on that. I also use the embossing pen on the stamp of Santa and the reindeer. So you can use the embossing pen in the same way as you would an embossing ink pad. So I just scribbled over the stamp and then used it in the normal way. So obviously on the inside we've got a few extra details of the cat, more little snowflakes and a little street lamp. So there we go, lots and lots of space to write a personal message, and yeah, I'm really pleased with that. For this I use my label maker, and instead of just the usual sort of black text on white, I had got one that was ribbon, so it's gold writing on pink ribbon, so I just thought that would look quite nice and tie in like with the pink colours and stuff. So so there we go, so that's the first one. The next one, I'm going to make a mini slimline. So I'm actually going to take the other half of this that I didn't use, trim that bit off, fold it in half, and then that's a mini slimline card, and that one is going to be very textured. I'm going to be using the glitter accents, and it's going to be lots of trees, so it's going to be really dimensional and lots of texture. So I'm going to get about die cutting and whatnot for that, and I'll be back in a moment to construct that card with you. So back in a mo. Okay, my crafty friends, so I have made a mini slimline card base. So this is a 7-inch wide card scored down the middle at 3.5, and it is 6 inches tall. Mini slimlines do vary a little bit, but those are the dimensions that I've chosen for this card. I've cut a piece of the lovely navy pearlescent card for the bottom, and the gorgeous snowstorm handmade cotton paper for the top. I'm going to do the same as I did in the last card to embellish this further, to make it more look like a snowy sky, in terms of adding the clear mark pen and the embossing powder onto some of the little circles, and also the opal quartz. I've cut myself a morning sun, just using one of Tonic's standard circle nesting dies. So that's going to go around here, and then as you can see I've got various trees of different sizes. So what I'm going to do is build up a scene around, so the bottom half of the card really is going to be full of these trees, and I've cut out the little snowdrifts, so they will be sitting on some of the trees. So here, for example, I've put them in all different colours. Obviously, because we've got a nice pink sky, I thought it'd be nice to have some pink trees as well. And yeah, so it's basically, this is what it's gonna look like. I've also cut some of the little snowbanks from the high gloss mirror card, because I thought that might look quite funky, for example here. But what I wanted to, so that's what I'm going to do. I'll do that off camera, but what I did want to show you on camera is what I want to do to several of the trees. So what I wanted to show you is how I'm going to use the glitter accent to embellish my card. So obviously, you know, we've got all these beautiful textured and speciality papers, but we can still use other mediums to embellish things further. And then I'm going to squirt some of the glitter accents onto my messy mat. That should probably do it. And then I'm going to use a pokey tool. Now this is my like sacrificial pokey tool, so it gets used for all sorts of messy things. But I'm basically going to use this to add glitter and texture and dimension to the trees. So this should just give extra texture to what will already be a nice textured card. Some of the trees I am going to lay down and glue flat against the card, but some of them I'm going to raise up on foam pads. So it's going to be, even though it's going to be a small card, it'd be small, but it'd be mighty. So, I mean, look how pretty that looks, just with that added texture. And I say there's no sort of like precision about this, it's just sort of picking it up and blobbing it on. Because if you think about it, when snow falls, you know, it sticks to different branches sticking out, doesn't it? So this is just sort of imitating that. And obviously these trees are ones that are still sort of in darkness, really, because it's sort of like a morning time scene where the world is waking up to a snowy day in a beautiful magical forest. So once this is dried, these will look so pretty. In fact, I might even add some onto some of the other trees as well, because I think it will look really pretty, and to save wasting the glitter accents. I mean, the glitter accents are fab, you know, you can use them through stencils and different things like that, but you can just use them just to add extra texture, oh, not that much, extra texture and dimension in lots of different ways. So if you've never used them like this, here's a little example for you. So yeah, let's pick out a pink tree. This should obviously be much more sort of dramatic with the blue against the pink. Yeah, it is. So the glitter accents are mainly just glitter. It's very heavily glittered, just with some sort of glue to sort of bind it all together. Trying to sort of get it in little angles so that it looks like it's going along the branches, and then making up some example, like some faux branches here, like that might be a branch. There we go. And why not do one of the little white ones as well? Because we don't like waste, do we? So next I'm going to do the heat embossing on the top, on the sky portion, and then I am going to start assembling the card. Obviously I need to wait for these to dry, and then I shall come back and show you the completed card. So two very, very different cards, one sort of more mixed media and a smaller type of card. I mean, this kind of card would be really good to batch make, especially if you excluded like the extra things like all the heat embossing. I mean, this paper is gorgeous enough that you wouldn't have to, you know, you don't need to do anything like that, and you don't need to do anything like this. But like, say if you were batch making a bunch of cards, like this card design would be great, just a nice forest scene, and and it's also good for people that like don't celebrate Christmas, because essentially it's just like a wintry sort of scene. So depending on the sentiment that you put on it, or if you leave it sentiment free, it can just be used for sort of like any wintry occasion. So I shall now crack on, and I'll see you back in a moment with the finished article. And here we go, my crafty friends, the second completed card. So I really like the way this one's turned out. I love the dimension, the way all the trees are slightly different, and just the sort of like lovely sort of whimsical like wintry morning forest scene. You can see, hopefully the camera's picking it up, the sparkle from both the gorgeous embossing powder and from the Opal Quartz Shimmer pen. And then, as you can see, I've used a variety of the different cardstocks to make the trees and the little snowdrifts that go on them as well. So there's this one, and then there's Big Mama next to each other. So obviously we've got our full 7x7 and then essentially a half one. So this one, it's 3.5 by 6 inches. So it's like one of the standard sizes for a mini slimline. But I thought that'd be nice to give you two sort of different ideas. You know, one very sort of big mantle pleaser type of card, and then a smaller one which doesn't take that long to create actually, and I think using the glitter accents like that just to add a bit of extra texture is just a really like nice unique way to use them that you might not have thought of. So I'd love to know your thoughts. Do you have a favourite card? Is there anything in particular that you like about either of these makes? Yeah, just anything you want to tell me really. So I'll leave a link here to the playlist of my Tonic Craft Kit unboxing and project share videos for those who are new to my channel that have just discovered me and that might be looking for inspiration on recent kits or past kits that you haven't yet broken into. And also, if you're new to my channel, you might not realise that I am in the midst of a craft room reorganisation series. So there's going to be 5 videos and there's currently 3. So I'll put a link to the first one of those up here for you as well, in case you want to sort of see what my craft room looked like before I started reorganising it and my plans, etc. And then you can follow along the journey with me, so if that's something you're interested in as well. So that's all from me today, and I'll see and speak to you soon with some more crafty goodness. Bye for now.